So the last couple of videos I did, we were kind of concentrating on one area. Well, we're going to go somewhere else with this one. So let's go. Google don't want to work for me here. Today we're going to eyeball this site here, Lars Christensen Coast. So you can cop a bearing of where I'm at. And you hear a lot of talk about excavating going on, and I mean, truth of it all, I mean, if Google doesn't want you to see something, you're not going to see it. It's either completely fudged out or they massively pixelate it or brush it or whatever they're doing. But so it got me to thinking, well, where are they digging? And as you zoom in, you can see, where they start, manipulating these frames. But, I come across this here. And about all I can say is there's just no way that the ice just thawed and it left this. These are piles of dirt. And, with however long the ice has been sitting on the land mass here, it just, there's no way that it just wouldn't totally be compressed like concrete, you can see a 2-track here and kind of dive in and you can see things along here, objects, whatever they may be. But my best guess is, this is more than likely an entrance here, and there's a few things in here. This is probably an entrance and this is probably an entrance. And I'm thinking this is probably the area of concern right now because when you dive in, you can see the frame splice. They don't want you to see it. But, there's action here. There's a 2-track, and being a snowmobiler, I kind of look at these here, and it pretty much looks like 2 sleds to me, and if you measure them out, I think come about 12 feet or something, 10, 12 feet, and I know my sled's 12 feet long, so he could even be carrying something loosely back here. But it got me thinking, well, where are they coming from, and you look at this site, it just, it looks like there's some thawing out going here. It's different than, most places. But, I kind of come across this here. It's supposed to look like a puddle, but when you kind of dive in, it looks like there's an entrance here. I see right angles, So, there's all kinds of things in here that you can pick out. They really pixelate the heck out of it, I must say. But, look over here at this end and, uh, kind of blow it up a little bit here, but maybe too much. But there's piping here. It's kind of running along the bottom of this hill here. There's some kind of, I don't know, vehicle or something here. It almost, there's a round thing, looks like a turbocharger for strip mining or something, and I kind of think that's what's going on here. They're, water blasting the side of this hill. And, all of this dirt isn't from the landmass above falling. I mean, there's just no way. And these are piles of dirt. And what's interesting, if you look at the elevation right now, here we're on the ground, it's 891. We'll go to the very top. What is it? 895. So you're telling me it's 4 feet? This is a lot taller than 4 feet. So there's manipulation going on in here. Just wanted to point it out. Check out the site. I mean, that's why I'm showing you this. And I'll go in on my arrow here. And you kind of look at this area, and there's some, here's something. These things are just everywhere. There's something over here. But if you look, I'm going to zoom in on one of these items. But this is not a chunk of ice, okay? It's just not. And if you look, they're spaced out somewhat evenly throughout the site. You know, here's one, here's something else, but here's some, you know, there's things along here. Here's one, here's one. You go across the way, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. You know, there's, you know, they're around this area here. You know, they're moving dirt or whatever they're doing. You know, uh, food for thought. Check it out yourself. You know, the whole site, but it's all anonymous. You know, anomalous looking over here. You know, there's some thawing going on. It's dirty. It just looks different than everything else. You know, and you kind of, you know, you look at this. These are piles of dirt. I mean, that's what they are, plain and simple. So let's pop out of here and go somewhere else. You know, here's something you can see if you look at a different angle. It's actually casting a shadow. There's something here, but you know, there's a square. You know, something was done there. But we're gonna go to a different area here, and I guess we'll start. I kind of marked them out so hard when I don't mark everything. I mean, you just can't do it. There's too much. But I try to come up with a little bit of a game plan here. And here's number one. We'll just start there. You know, these are, you know, don't know what they are. I'm going to call it a lighthouse because it appears to kind of be a beacon on this hill, you know, some kind of warning going through to wherever you're going. But, you know, you look at what's going on and you can see there's structures all in here, you know. They really pixelate the heck out of it. But we're going to move on to number two. Here's number two. Let me straighten this out a little bit. You know, orientation's a big deal here on Google Earth if you want to see something. But let's just dive in here. You know, the thing about Google Earth, you know, as you zoom in and out, things become clearer and others distort. So, starting out here, I mean, you can see there's a structure. And if you look over here, there's another structure, and just by the looks of this, I'm just gonna say because this looks like an entrance to a tunnel. You know, it's probably some kind of security shack or something. You know, making sure everybody's kosher going in and out of here. But you know, here's kind of hard to see too close, but you know, these things are just everywhere. I kind of imagine that you know, they could be craft. I'm kind of thinking they're dwellings. But if you look, you know, here's a building structure, here's a structure. Well, what's going on here? I mean, these are full blown cities. I mean, they pixelate the heck out of it. You know, it just, there are things everywhere. There's a civilization down here, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of people. And they mostly hide it in the shadows. And if it's not in the shadow, then they pixelate the heck out of it. So you can't see anything. But moving right along, here's number three. And let's go to here. I'm going to give you a little bit of a close up of these silver things. They come in brown, black. You know, this looks silver. You know, there's even gold ones. They're a little bit more rare, but they are all over the place. Sometimes you see one window. Sometimes there's two windows. Sometimes there's three windows. Almost looks like a bowling ball, but they're gold, you know. And from what I gather, I don't know, it's a deflects radiation or something. I'm not going to go into this whole thing because it's pretty darn interesting, you know, a little far-fetched, but really interesting. Let me see where I'm at. You know, there's things everywhere. You know, these are all buildings. You know, they're just all over the countryside. These are all buildings. You know, pixelated like crazy. But you know, you spend enough time looking at this stuff, and you can kind of, you know, put two and two together and kind of come up with your own conclusions. You know, but that's the purpose of the video. Check it out yourself. Here's number four. You know, here's an example of a gold one. You know, it looks like a bowling ball. There's like, 3 black marks on this gold sphere, but they're all over the place. There's a lot of them. We get a bearing. Look at, these are all structures. So here's an area that's very, very interesting. Getting out there, so bear with me. It's all about having an open mind. But you look in here, and what this is right here, this is either somebody flying, a being flying, or they're laying on a table. I'm not seeing a table, but this one here looks like it could be a girl or a woman. Looks like a dress, and if you notice, purple hair, and you're gonna see it a lot. Could be a headdress. I'm just saying this is their head, and they got purple hair. There's here's something that's pretty interesting, and there's a lot of them. And I'm just going to point this one out, but right here is a being, and there's actually a box here, whatever they're doing, and there's some other things, but what I want to show you is this, and it's some kind of heat source. What they're doing with it, I don't know how it works, who knows, but you look at it, and there's a cylindrical base here. It kind of has a dome, and you can see the panels on here. But if you look in the center, it's red. It's a heat source. You look above it, kind of looks like some kind of dentist x-rays that they put up to you, but I think there's some kind of contact being made here. There's some kind of reaction, and I would imagine that it's creating what you see. This whole structure is like piping, but here's a pipe, and this is a heat source. Flames, gas, I don't know, but it's a heat source, and there's quite a few of these that you can pick out. Moving right along, you're looking at this piping. Well, here's a being. Whatever it is, pinkish purple hair. Its arms are out, working, maybe warming its hands, but if you look, here is the pipe, and it's red. It's a heat source. Whatever it is, I don't know. It's amazing in these shadows, just look how pixelated this is. I mean, it's done for a reason. It's because there's dwellings just everywhere. There's full-blown civilizations going on here. That's my idea anyways. That's what I come up with. Make your own judgment. Moving right along. I mean, you can, it's all in the shadows. You can just see these things. Not sure what I was marking with number 8 here. However, I can see these bubble pods over here. Don't take my word for anything. Research it yourself. That's why I'm here, just to show you where to look. It's a starting point, and you can check it all you want. Start getting over here. This seems to be like there's a tunnel here. There's a tunnel here. There's a tunnel here. There's a tunnel here. Check this out for yourself. This almost looks like, for the lack of a better word, a Winnebago or something right here. I mean, it's everywhere. I think there's a lot of different species. I think there's human size as we know it. And I think they're mostly living in these hillsides, because when you start diving into the darkness, these beings are just too big to be living in these dwellings that are on the hillside. So, here's the site, Lars Christensen Coast. Check it out for yourself. Just for God's sake, use your own head. Till next time.